Okay, this is question 30 from the 2015 HSC. A car dealership maintains information about all the cars it has for sale. So this is where every time you read the question, try and imagine you're in a car dealership, you're a car dealer, and then you're looking at a computer screen with what sort of information? Well, let's see. The information about each car includes ID, make, model, whether the car is a manual or auto, the price of the car, and the year of manufacture. So remember, we have one car that has all these features. A developer is required to write a program which maintains records of cars bought and sold, maintains records, and enables dealers to search for cars that meet different specifications. Okay, so part A, why is an array of records appropriate for manipulating this data? So an array of records is basically saying we can call the array cars, and each index contains a record. Okay, a car record, car rec. So then if we look at car rec, we can go dim car rec. I'm not sure if I'm defining this correctly. As record, right? Record, and we have multiple fields. So we go dim ID as, let's say, integer, because we don't know. Dim make as string. Dim model as string. Look, you're not going to be writing this in the exam, but I'm using this as revision, okay? And then dim manual. Dim, I could do manual. I don't know what you call that. Manual, or wouldn't put a slash there. Man aught, or dim manual as boolean. And I can go dim auto as boolean. Dim price. Actually, if I just said dim manual as boolean, if it's false, then it's definitely auto, right? So let's just leave that. Price as float, and dim year as integer, because I might want to do calculations to see like how many years ago was it manufactured, blah blah blah. End record. So if this was my one car record and it resided in my cars array, that's what we're talking about. An array of records. It's appropriate, definitely. Okay, why? So each car record can have fields that store the appropriate, required information. Okay, and if you wanted to, look, the examiners will actually see this and they'll know, oh yeah, this kid has demonstrated, they know what a record looks like. Not that the question is asking about that, but let's store the required information. Then, and if you wanted to stick which different data types, remember, records can store multiple data items of different data types, and then each car record, blah blah blah. Then these records can then be stored in a cars array. It helps for ease of access and searching. Okay, anything, I mean, it's much easier to search rather than maintaining calling multiple variables car rec 1, car rec 2, car rec 3, we can store each car record as an element in the array and then look it up. And then at any one time, we can even say, how many cars do I have in stock? I can just go, how many items are in my cars array? Then discuss whether the data in the array of records should be sorted. This is an interesting question. So when we think about the context of this course, we do learn about the 3 types of sorting. I guess it's sometimes handy to have items sorted. So in this case, why would a car dealer want it sorted? Perhaps they might want to keep a database of certain models, because maybe a customer comes in and they're like, oh, I really want to buy a Subaru. So then they just go straight to S for the make, right? And that is if it's sorted by make. So we can in the context of this course, we've only learned about sorting based on one value, one field. But there's so many fields. What if a customer comes in and they're like, oh, I want to make sure the car buy is like less than 5 years old. So then you want to sort by year of manufacture. So this question was a bit more asking about, that's why you're discussing, okay? Perhaps you need to mention, yes, in this context. So again, always link to scenario. That's why I tell you to use your imagination and think about, okay, the use of this app. And if a dealership maintains a database of these records, how would it be used? What are the different use cases, right? So then you can talk about that in your question. Okay, if you sorted it, it would make like looking up really easy. So you could throw in a bit about binary search, would be faster. However, the limitation is that if you sorted by, let's say, I don't know, make, and then you wanted to search by the most recently manufactured car, right? It's not going to work because it wasn't sorted by year of manufacture. So in that case, you still need to use a linear search, which affects the optimization. So yes, it should be sorted. However, there are limitations. Perhaps you might want to give the dealer an ability to choose which field to sort by, so that then it would make it easier for them to locate the information they need. So that's how I would approach that answer. Let's see if I can bring up the marking guide. Question 30. Now this question, part B, was actually quite poorly answered in this year. So let's have a look why. Okay, 30, part B. Provides arguments for and or against sorting the data. Okay, so I think in my explanation, I did mention both. So the difference between a 3 and a 2 was really whether or not you presented your case well in your argument or justifying in your discussion. So let's look at the sample answer. Even though searching can be more efficient using a binary search on sorted data, searches in this database will often be on a combination of fields. So sorting on one of them will not speed up the process or provide any benefits. If you were to sort this array of records, we will only be able to sort one field. Which one field will be most appropriate? There are none that are more relevant than the others. That's one example. Then I highly recommend you looking at the ICT educators' answers as well, because it's more like a revision. So when the data for each car is originally determined and entered into the system, we assume that the cars would have been entered into the file in some sequence. For example, it would be chronologically, by date or rego. Perhaps with a hashing algorithm applied to generate a unique numerical key. However, for searching purposes, dealers want to search on a variety of fields, for example, price or model or make or location, so it would be necessary to perform a linear search on a whole file to find the required records. If there is a commonly requested search on a specific field, it might be useful to store data in a sequence of this field, which would then allow binary search to be done on the target field, which would speed up the search process for that particular search. So both sample answers talked about how sorting improves searching, okay? And yeah, that's what this question was really asking about. But you had to provide arguments. Now, bear in mind, you're not expected to answer at this detail because, you know, you're just given this much space. So try and not waffle and get your point across in that space. But hopefully this was clear.